Hey there, everybody. Eric Chesson, founder of Autism Fitness, leading the movement for movement. And if you, yes, you watching this right now, are ready to become an Autism Fitness Certified Pro and take the guesswork out of your training and adapted PE programs for the autism and neurodiverse athletes that you serve, head on over to autismfitness.com or click the link in the description below, and you can get started right now, or at least a few seconds from now, in becoming an Autism Fitness Certified Pro, learning the assessment and the programming and all of the positive behavior support and coaching skills that you and your athletes will need for a successful journey and outcome into meaningful fitness. That being said, it is Tuesday training time, even if you're watching this on a Wednesday or on a Thursday or any other day of the week that doesn't happen to be a Tuesday, but this is Tuesday training, and you can subscribe to the Autism Fitness newsletter. That is also on autismfitness.com. So in this Tuesday training, I want to talk about a warm-up exercise that is not only a great shoulder mobility and locomotive exercise, but one that tells us a lot about our athletes' ability to maintain tension in the overhead position. Now, this seems highly technical. Seems like, why does it matter? Our athletes' ability to maintain tension on the band tells us a lot about how much kinesthetic awareness they have with this particular movement and how much stability they have in their shoulders as well. It is a valuable exercise for us as coaches, both to assess current level of ability and see how much of a duration the athlete is able to stay engaged in a particular exercise. And I'm saying all these technical things now, so it's probably time that I share my screen and go over the overhead band walk. So I got my guy Z here. We're doing this overhead band walk, or he is. And so first thing with the overhead band walk, the ideal position is raising the arms overhead. We want the band over the crown of the head here, over. So two things that we see when the athlete is beginning to physically compensate. Number one, we'll see the band start to fold forward if the athlete does not have the shoulder and upper back strength and stability, and also that thoracic mobility. So the upper back musculature having that ability to maintain that nice, healthy overhead position. So that's one thing that we'll see. And we don't just let that go, especially one of the things that you get in autism fitness training is just because an exercise looks a certain way with an athlete, we don't just let that go and say, oh, it'll get better, later on. The more they practice, it'll just automatically get better. It doesn't, and it won't. So we have to take certain steps in order to modify the exercise and either provide a less challenging variation or provide some type of prompt. That's what I am doing right here as I walk backwards as my guy Z walks forward. So right now he's in a pretty good position. He's got the band overhead. I've got it doubled up because we want this at a shoulder width position right here. And note I have this blue cone here because when we cue or when we give a direction for the overhead band walk, what do we want? We want the athlete to know where they're starting and when they're ending. All right, so we want to know where the athlete is finishing up. All right, so let's move on. So now, see a little pause, good turn here, and you see those hands are starting to come forward a little bit. So we're beginning to lose some of this stability and some of the tension in the band. More on this in a little bit, right there. So you see how now he has tension on the band, and then we see that kind of that smiley face in the band. So the band is the maintenance of tension on that band is starting to loosen. Right? We want tension on the band the entire time. We want that activation of the shoulders and upper back, and the tension on the band lets us know that the athlete is doing just that. So we might go in and provide a brief physical prompt. And see here we have the turn. So we want the athlete with their arms all the way up, maintaining tension on that band. So there's that slight physical prompt that we provide, but really I want as little physical prompting as possible for my athlete. So here, if I can get away with just giving a mirror prompt with my arms overhead and walking in front of the athlete. That finish is really good there, right? He's got his arms all the way up. It's almost over the crown of the head. You know, this is what we would refer to as an approximation here. So as he continues to develop that skill with the overhead band walk and maintain that healthy overhead position, right, it becomes a more effective exercise for him. So I'm going to show you this. So here's Zeke again. This is a much earlier version, and I'm going backwards now, but I want to show where this was in the beginning. So you see here, this is several months before. So we're going back in time. Several months before this, you see the band is all over the place for the most part, and there's a lot of difficulty maintaining tension on it as well. And the reason I'm showing you this and moving backwards is because it demonstrates how far the athlete can come and how far they can develop the skill if we are consistent with the exercise. Again, effective exercising, and I say again, because I don't think I've said it in this video, but I say it in many other videos, the key to programming success, the key to physical success, the key to adaptive success, the key to cognitive success is consistency. Consistency with the appropriate exercise at the appropriate level of progression or modification, the appropriate cues and coaching style. That is ultimately what is going to make an exercise meaningful, attainable, and generalizable for an athlete. So that was a little bit on the overhead band walk. If you enjoyed this, well, you may just enjoy the other videos on here. So like and subscribe to the Autism Fitness. And again, if you are ready to become an Autism Fitness Certified Pro, link is in the description below. Head on over to autismfitness.com, register, and you can be on your way to becoming an expert in delivering fitness and adapted PE programs to a population that very much needs it.